Yo, good morning. Welcome to the final one of the year, Stokastic.com NFL Strategy Show, Showdown Edition, Super Bowl 60, Patriots, Seahawks, last one. We'll have a show tomorrow. We'll have a show on Friday. And of course, on Sunday, we'll have multiple hours of shows leading up to the Super Bowl. Usually we try and do them a little bit earlier in the day because people are doing things, and it's not as easy to go up until lock, which is also totally unnecessary. You're not going to get many late scratches heading up in the final 30 minutes of the Super Bowl. So just keep that in mind. You should have like an earlier mid-afternoon style show. And we'll talk about it today. That's Ben Ross. I'm Dave Lochran, and we've got a Super Bowl game. Yeah, fun one. Seahawks, Patriots. What's up, brother?
It's not that fun. Cool game, but doesn't have the – I don't know. I'm not feeling the I'm super excited for the DFS side, truly. The game itself, it doesn't bring the juice for me. I don't know. These teams are they're quality teams, but there's no storyline that I am super immersed in. Like, there are storylines, obviously, from Sam Darnold. That would be a really cool story. Obviously, the Patriots being back already, Vrabel, Drake May taking over early. Sure, but is it? I don't know. I'm not captivated as if it was like if Josh Allen was in there, or on the other side, the Niners had somehow made it through as injured as they were. I personally would be a little more invested in the game itself, but I do like the DFS slate. I think there's a lot of ways you can take it.
I don't know. I mean, the Niners suck, dude.
You hate the Niners. You've always been a Niners hater.
But I'm saying the way that they're currently constituted,
that would be cool.
They'd be like 8-point dogs.
No.
They would not be bigger dogs than the Patriots.
Well, they couldn't. If they would have beat Seattle, that would have been a
right. But they got routed.
Well, they had no good players.
And they wouldn't have good players in the Super Bowl.
I know, but it would be a storyline. I don't know. I
don't mind the Patriots spot here because a lot of times these games that you think aren't going to be like, people are already assuming the Patriots are just going to get smoked, which makes no sense at all.
I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah. I think it's like 17 of the last 25 games the dog has covered. So 25 Super Bowls. I can see this being a very close game. I actually think the Patriots match up pretty well against Seattle. Maybe not offensively, but I'm not sure who does match up well against Seattle offensively. Defensively, though, I actually think they match up quite well and can get pressure on Sam Darnold and can stop the run. I wouldn't is their game plan just going to be take JSN out of this? I'm not saying it'll work, but does it come down to we have to neutralize JSN and make him beat us everywhere else? If they're capable of doing that, then I think this game stays very close.
Everyone somehow seemingly can't do that because he's always 10 yards in the clear. But yeah, I think, and I do this too. Two things can be true. They're not necessarily like the Patriots. I thought had a pretty easy path. They were fortunate. They played some awful offenses, but that doesn't mean they're not good. They just happen to catch some breaks. Two things can be true. Seattle's defense is insane. That's maybe what I'm saying. Seattle's defense, and maybe other people know this stuff. To me, they're just nameless. They're just a unit, and they're a sick team, but they're not they don't have those guys.
No,
it's just a very well put together team.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Super Bowl MVP odds. Even it's there's outside of Darnold and May on Seattle, everyone's 30-1 or worse. Or
it's just
better, higher.
It's just that kind of game. So we'll see. It's the Super Bowl. The beautiful thing about the Super Bowl is that you don't need to. The line itself is probably pretty efficient. There's 10,000 props out there. There's 10,000 ways to play this to get exposure, but I don't have a strong take on how the game itself goes, to be honest. I think the most likely thing is that it's somewhat methodical. Unless the Seahawks jump on them early, I think the game stays relatively close and it's low scoring.
A shootout seems unlikely. I'm not saying it can't happen. It definitely can, but it seems unlikely in a spot like this. I already placed my King of the End Zone and FanDuel jackpot bet. That's $10 million between the two of those. $6 million jackpot over on FanDuel. Posted that one to Tails yesterday. $4 million King of the End Zone on DraftKings. I went Rashid Shaheed for both of them.
So you just need that. The kickoff counts, right?
The kickoff counts, correct. Well, okay. Yeah. So, as a matter of fact,
or do you chop with defense?
It's different. On FanDuel, it's the individual player. On DraftKings, you get paid out for the player and the defense.
Got it.
So, like if somebody were to bet the defense and I bet Rashid Shaheed, it pays out both. FanDuel only pays out the player.
DraftKings is the longest touchdown, right?
Longest. So my hope is that Rashid Shaheed opens the game with a kick return touchdown. Now,
yeah, I mean,
unlikely. Not... yeah, he's done it a lot. Plus, he returns punts too. He returns both. So, yeah, I figure why not? You're getting them at plus 360 to score.
I'll probably use Henderson.
What's that?
Honest. I'll probably use Travion personally. Like I haven't made mine yet, but I have not a funny feeling. It'll probably be Henderson for me.
I don't blame you. The only reason I didn't go Henderson is because I already have a play on his most rushing yards prop at 50-1.
Yeah. Just because if he ever got in the open field.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a really difficult matchup, which is actually I actually like going with a guy like Henderson when the matchup's brutal for everybody. Because if there's just one mistake on defense, Henderson could be the one to capitalize on that, where Ramondre Stevenson and even Kenneth Walker in a really tough spot struggle to get anything going all day. So I could see it happening for sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, both of these things, and this is all the info on Tails. You guys know about Tails already. It's a game theory question, not who you think is going to do it. That's a piece of it, but that's not the only piece, because the pool is divvied up against the number of people that have it. So it's not as simple as like, oh, this guy's the most likely. That doesn't do you any good at all. Sure, you get the payout for the bet, and you've done really good work with this, where there's been a couple. Golden comes to mind. Some of these guys where you got caught right at the end, but you still got paid on an anytime touchdown, a really nice payout. So it does work both ways.
Yeah, you had DeMarcus Robinson on that too, where you got paid out, but
yeah, and I lost. You know who I lost to? You.
Yeah, but you still got paid out for your touchdown.
Yeah, real good. That's just great.
Anyway, glad to have you guys here. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Tools will be updated tomorrow morning when Greg and I do the Sim Strategy show. But typically on this show, we don't have the tools anyway. So we're going to go through the positions, break it all down, give our thoughts. We will actually let's go position by position here a little bit, Ben. And I think it actually makes sense, because when we did the first one last week, we did not do that. I think we could probably go ahead and do it for this one. I don't see anything wrong with that. But also, it's a game theory thing, right? Like, it's not – you just mentioned it. This is not just like play that guy, play this guy. There's a whole lot more that goes into it than that. So maybe we'll quickly go through the positions and then just talk about how we actually want to build lineups.
Yeah, I think we should. My vote in chat, you tell us. My vote is we go through the positions pretty damn quickly, and we spend second half of the show, honestly, just playing with lineups. Let's just start building and have some, because it's not about, I say this every year for the Super Bowl. In the large field tournaments, if you can give me a unique lineup that leaves less than 5,000 on the table, I don't care what it is, I would take the lineup. I literally don't care what it is.
Yeah.
It's just all about, can you even get any permutation, again, with reasonable players, that's as limited dupes as possible.
So then what we'll do, we'll just go through it, talk about anybody maybe that stands out that we hadn't maybe previously considered or talked about last week. You're not going to get a ton of developments throughout the week. It's not the way it goes, right?
Everyone's healthy too.
Yeah. And at the quarterback position, You have Darnold and you have May. Now, May has a 6.5 rushing attempt prop, which is pretty significant. He's taken off a lot lately. As a matter of fact, last game, Drake May rushed 10 times for 65. 2 of the 3 playoff games so far, you have 10 rushing attempt for Drake May and 65 plus rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. 65 plus in both of them, 1 rushing touchdown last week. Didn't run a whole lot against Houston. Didn't really need
I don't know. Yep. You see what he did?
What's that?
Talking about, oh, you're back.
What happened?
You were talking so much junk. Society threw you out, but now it seems like you're back.
That's weird. Huh.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Anyway, right. Drake May is rushing a lot right now, and I don't know I'm not sure. I would assume you do. You've probably seen him on Twitter before, and in the event that you have, you may have read his article. Do you know who Connor Allen is on Twitter? He does a lot of stuff for 4for4 football. Either way, sharp guy. Wrote a really good detailed matchup breakdown for the Super Bowl. And I read it yesterday. It was really good. I would recommend anybody go out there and read it, for real. It's awesome. And it was free. And he was talking about how Seattle allows the highest scramble rate of any defense in the league against quarterbacks. And you know that Drake May is going to scramble when given the opportunity. Now, does that mean that does it mean that the Seahawks are going to cough up a ton of rushing yards to May? No, but the opportunities will probably be there. It's very difficult to throw against Seattle. I know May has not been very good in the playoffs. He's actually been pretty bad for the most part. Had he not rushed for 65 and a score last week, it would have been it would have been terrible. He's faced some very good defenses too. But this is actually the toughest defense he's going to face. And he already faced Houston, Chargers, and Denver. But the rushing upside to me alone on a showdown slate, it's just always going to put him squarely in play as someone you're going to get a lot of. I don't really think you can get away from that.
No, so first thing that comes to mind, and this is a rarity, you're going to see 5 1s with just Drake May. I promise you. People will do that because there is a path to Seattle smoking them and Drake May being the only source of offense. And he has, 130 yards passing, no touchdowns, a couple picks, but he has 6 for 50 on the ground and a score. And that's what you need a Patriot, obviously. And he still gets you there in that realm. Obviously, you're not going to do it the other way with Darnold. So it's just one added wrinkle that Drake May could get there on a raw points, and New England's offense could still be absolutely horrendous.
Who do you like more, May or Darnold, or does it really even matter given the context of this slate? I don't actually think – I know Darnold doesn't run a lot, but I think the ceiling game is still higher on Darnold.
Yeah, I would probably say the ceiling and the floor is lower. So this is the weird thing, because again, we've seen this. You even saw this last year. It feels like 10 years ago. Even with Mahomes, we were talking about this not that long ago, and I was saying, man, I really need the Chiefs in best ball last year. They're awful. And you were like, some of them ended up salvaging because they were down by so many points. Worthy and some of these guys actually had pretty damn good games. It was just all useless in the grand scheme of things. To me, there's an infinitely higher chance that Drake May gets there in quote unquote garbage time than Darnold. I don't really see a lot of paths for that. I see Darnold either having a super effective game or managing the game where he just doesn't do anything. I really don't see him playing from behind and throwing the ball like 45 times. I really think that's a rare outcome here.
I think there's another aspect possible, though, where another outcome where Darnold just is really bad.
That's what I mean. And then I don't think it's going to – Seattle's defense will keep it close enough where it's not garbage time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty – this is actually a really tough game for what it's worth. I think this is a really, really tough game because outside of JSN, you're just talking about a bunch of and obviously Kenneth Walker in a very difficult matchup, but Kenneth Walker for sure. Outside of that, it's just a bunch of guys, who are rarely used in the capacity you'd want. Now they're cheap, sure. Like you look at last year with Philly and Kansas City, like you knew that guys like Brown and Smith and Barkley and Goddard and Hurts, like all of those guys, you really liked. And that's just on one team, right? And then on the other side of that game, I know, understandably, it didn't go the way the Chiefs wanted, but like you said, Rashee Rice still ended up having a big game. Patrick Mahomes still ended up throwing for multiple touchdowns. They got smoked, but still, there were still people. Oh, Travis Kelce, a household name, and a guy that you would have thought if that game were competitive would have been a lot more involved. He had an awful game. But that's like 7-8 guys right there that you kind of just plug in. Whereas with this, I don't feel that way with New England either. Even in the backfield between Stevenson and Henderson, I'm not all that confident that Stevenson just comes out there and gets the massive lion's share of work. Like last week, who knows? Or 2 weeks ago now, the snow could have had played a big role there. And they might have just wanted to run Stevenson into the ground. Maybe this is a different week. Maybe things look different. Maybe Henderson gets more work. And when you talk about the pass catchers here, Stephon Diggs on name value is the number one. And yes, he has the most big games of the group with the highest target share. Like he's liable any week to have a 4-target game. He's not JSN. He's not remotely close to JSN at this point. So when you look at all of the pass catchers, including guys like Hunter Henry for New England, there isn't a single person that's like, yeah, that's an AJ Brown type, or even a Devonta Smith, or a Dallas Goedert, or a Saquon Barkley type. It's a really confusing game.
It's just different. I mean, if you went back and you listed out, one by one, it would fall very quickly to last year. Like it's like, okay, I'll take JSN. You give me, AJ Brown, sure. JSN's ridiculous. Kenneth Walker, very elite right now. Like Diggs is what about the other 8 guys you just rattled off, from Kelce to Worthy to, they just had so many weapons last year. This is more, you're really living in the mid-range, which is going to give kickers more utility. Defenses are going to be way more popular. It's just that type of game. And yeah, Darnold, he had one truly horrific game this year against the Rams. But other than that, he's been fine. He just has a lot of games where he's not doing much of anything.
Well, and Drake May has had like no truly horrific games, but he's had a very easy schedule. And that's why you and I were saying, like, the floor on May is definitely higher than Darnold. The floor is definitely higher.
Runs, so absolutely.
I just see it's so hard for me to see a path where like New England just kind of goes up early with a bunch of big Drake May plays and Seattle has to play catch up, which if that's the case, and I think you mentioned this, Darnold could end up being the higher producer anyway. I mean, a lot of times garbage time production is more valuable than anything else. So I think Dre has the higher floor. Darnold, I say this because I'm not confident that New England's truly been tested. Like more than a game or two. Have they truly been tested? I'm not sure they have.
No, again, it's circumstances. They've done a lot of good stuff, but they've also played a lot of teams that are just a mess. There's no doubt about. I mean, there's been a lot of these stats because the Jets are the Jets. But I don't know if you heard this. And again, I find this more interesting than actionable, but the Patriots this year, 11 of their regular season wins, 11 of them, that team's coach got fired. and 2 more were against the Jets.
Right. So it should have been 13. Is that real?
I didn't vet it, but I did read that. To be
fair, 2 of them were Buffalo. Yeah. All right.
And the Dolphins.
All right. Let's see here. Chargers, no. Dolphins, yes. Jets should have been. Baltimore, yes. Buffalo, Giants,
yes.
Jets will say yes. Atlanta,
Yes.
Cleveland,
Yes.
Tennessee. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Buffalo.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Miami again. Las Vegas. Wow. Yeah. That's insane. That's insane. Also, some of those spots, I look at like Buffalo, and I look at Baltimore, even Pittsburgh, and I'm like, all right, well, like that was just their time. It's not like all of it was Tennessee and Las Vegas style. By the way, they lost to the Raiders, but a lot of people in chat saying that they think this game isn't particularly close. Chris says Pats are going to get the same treatment the Chiefs got last year, an ass whooping. I mean, maybe. I don't see it. I'll be honest. I'll lay it out there. I would be surprised if this game looks similar to last year.
Yeah, I would too. I think the more likely situation is that the Seahawks are more dominant in if you watch the game than the score. It's not a hot take. It's just kind of how I see it playing, where it looks like there's a discrepancy, but the game is 13-10 in the third quarter, and the game is, 20-13 with 6 minutes to go. Like it's close, but but Seattle is just incrementally better at all points.
Yeah, it does feel that way. I know exactly what you're saying. Where it's never fully in reach, but it's never out of reach. It's just kind of, yeah. If it's one of those games, those are the worst type of football games, by the way, to watch. So I hope it's not. Those games suck.
Yeah, I really don't think it's going to be, the Broncos and and where the game is so out of hand so quickly. I really don't see that. I mean, again, that's the beauty of this, and that's why we're going to do this. We need to build with these scenarios in mind, because if you think that Seattle wins like 38-3, your lineups should look vastly different than if you think that the game is 24-20 or some other type of build.
Yeah. Or even, 34-20, where a lot of that's probably catch-up mode. Tiffany, thank you for the super chat. Been using the Sims since October. Yesterday was my birthday. Happy birthday. Found out I got a free month for doing well in a PJ contest. How does that work? What's the Scott Matlock Super Bowl play? We're going to have to think of one of those for sure. We'll get a long shot. I did have a long shot Trevion Henderson bet at 50. That's down to like 20-1 now, but I'll post something. We'll post something fun. Maybe Ben and I will find one and collab on a massive long shot anytime touchdown score. Just use the link in the description for Hall of Fame and follow those steps. That's all you got to do. It's very simple to claim your free month.
But it's awesome. It's a great way to get extra value. So if you have a big hit or a nice score like that, secure some extra value for yourself. You got to rock the avatar, but I don't know why you wouldn't. And then just follow those instructions. Yeah, 6 of them. I mean, there are some. Let's be real. There are some better than others, particularly the one that I use. But that's neither here nor there. And you get that free month, and you get some perks as well if you're a multiple time winner. It's one of the coolest ways to get extra value on top of value. Stacking value is what I always call it.
Yeah. It's like having a raffle ticket where you don't need to actually pay for it, because it's just free. You're already playing the tournaments. And then if you win, you finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more, you get a free month of The Sims. If you do it twice in a calendar year, you get a free month, and then you get another additional free week the second time. That's another free month and an additional week of any other sport. Third time, you get all access, $550 value for the month. And when I say that, this could be, Ben, the quarter jukebox, the mini max. It doesn't matter as long as it's top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more. So just follow those steps. Rock the avatar. Tweet us at Stokastic HOF with a screenshot of your win, maybe a nice message attached as well. That's all you got to do. I tell everybody, like, there's no reason not to have it, right? Plus, the Ring of Honor, any $20,000 win or more, get you that custom engraved ring, which is pretty sweet. All right. Getting back to this, like we said, we'll breeze through some of these positions. At running back, I don't really know how much there is to talk about. You're going to have to get to a lot of Kenneth Walker. Trevion Henderson is the guy to me that just stands out as I'll be over the field here, not because I love him, but because there's in a Super Bowl like this, there are certain guys who are going to be very chalky, who are projected to get the large share of opportunities, right? Trevion Henderson in the flex is $3,800 because he's coming off a game where he was, essentially unused, right? He played 4 snaps. I think he had 2 or 3 carries, but still almost entirely unused. That to me is just the one spot that it has nothing to do with me being a Kenneth Walker or Trevion Henderson guy. I don't really care about that all that much. It's the fact that even looking at his props, 4.5 rushing attempt prop, whereas Stevenson's at 14.5. So even the books here have this split, essentially what we saw against Denver, but not what we saw against Houston, and certainly not what we saw against the Chargers. So it's just, again, this is just a game theory thing, Ben. It's not, I love Trevion Henderson. This is the Super Bowl, and we still don't really have any clue what Josh McDaniel and Vrabel are doing with that backfield rotation. I don't think we do.
Well, I think on a macro level, and it kind of reflects some of the comments in chat about, how haven't they not played anybody? They played all these defenses. To me, there's not a lot to learn about the Seahawks. Unless someone has a take that I'm missing, I think we know what the Seahawks are. There's no, I have no real questions about them. I've seen it. They've done it against all different types of teams. The Patriots might be that good, but I have questions still.
Well, hold on. Wait, hold on. Let's point out the elephant in the room here.
Well, that's where, I was going to that straight elephant. Exactly. No, please take it.
Well, it's just, yes, they played 3 phenomenal defenses, and they also played CJ Stroud, who
in the snow.
Yeah, was that game in the snow? It was, wasn't it? Yeah, that one was too. Yeah, because I remember I had to go outside and shovel that day. I'm sorry. Both of those days I had to go out and shovel. That game, CJ Stroud was put up as bad as a quarterback performance as anyone could ever see. Let's face it. Now, you could argue, that the pressure that the Patriots brought was significant, and that I believe that defense is good. Don't get me wrong, but CJ Stroud's not very good. They played Jared Stidham also in the snow, which came down heavily in the second half. Remember, early on in that game, Jared Stidham looked like he was doing okay. And then they faced Justin Herbert. I'm a huge Justin Herbert guy. But that offensive line, Ben, offensive line is so bad that I'm not really sure how much you can take away from that. And everyone thinks this is a knock on the Patriots. It's not. To me, it's just something that hasn't really been quantified yet. We don't really know.
That is my point. We don't. There are still some questions on the New England side, and that's a good thing. Because to me, when you're trying to be different, you want to bet on the unknown. I don't see Seattle they have less randomness. Sure, there's always an outlier situation, but I feel pretty confident saying that, Kenneth Walker, JSN, the weapons are the weapons. And yes, there are secondary guys. We just saw Jake Bobo catch 1 pass for 1 touchdown. That's an outlier, though. With New England, their actual playmakers are very fluid. It could be Diggs and Hunter Henry. It also could be Pop Douglas, Mac Hollins, Trevion Henderson. There's a million other guys. Booty has obviously had some big plays. Drake May on the ground. So many different ways that the Patriots do because they're not relying on the same things. And they also have been, you mentioned how bad those quarterbacks were. Stidham, he fumbled for it. The Patriots basically scored in that game on defense, and Stroud had all those turnovers. So it's been like that. We haven't seen crazy outputs, and maybe we won't again, but I think the Patriots are the side you want to be different on.
How much do you weight last game over their previous games, right? Because the first 2 postseason games, Henderson had 21 rushing attempts and Stevenson had 26.
Yeah, I don't weigh. I think the Broncos game is the game that you should throw out the most, to be honest. I think that it became pretty clear that the game changed so much that the Patriots had an out that they're just not going to give up any more points. I'm not weighing that game much at all, to be honest.
what is that, ML Riley? You guys are so far off on the Patriots, it's not even funny. I bet the Patriots, dude. I don't.
Yeah, in which direction?
Because everyone wants to look at everything just black and white. Like there's no gray here. It's just black and white. The Patriots are elite or the Patriots suck.
Yeah.
When really it's like the Patriots we know are a good team. We already know that. Like the Patriots are a good team. Do we know they're elite? No. Like not based on competition, we don't. That's not even up for debate.
Yeah, I can tell you from personal experience. I went to college in Massachusetts. I went to UMass. Not a lot of black and it's just they got really good fans up there and passionate, but they're also insane and deranged. That's just the reality. You guys have been spoiled for far too long because you're in a mega dynasty for the last 2 decades. But yeah, the Patriots are a good team, but let's not get crazy. I don't know how you conclude Seattle loses in the snow against Houston and or Denver. I don't see that, but I think that you have a real easy leverage point on this game then, because if you build with Patriots winning going away in mind and you're right, you're going to be unique in itself, because 4-2 and 5-1s with New England are going to be very rare.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Like if you ask non-crazy people, what is the least likely outcome? I think most people would say that New England crushes them.
I would agree with, but I'm telling you, man, the weird thing about the any game is that you could have a 4-2 New England and New England loses by 2 touchdowns and it's still optimal.
Yeah, especially if it's Walker and JSN on
That's
the other
what I
side.
mean. Exactly. Yeah. But that's not unrealistic. Like those two guys get a lot of work. They're clear. They're far and away the 2 best players on that team. And then if Drake May has to play and come from behind mode and they start moving the football, things look a little bit different. So I don't necessarily look at 4-2s for the Patriots as they blow them out. I just look at it as, could it work? And I think it absolutely can. But outside of Walker and Stevenson, like Stevenson is the guy I think I like the least at his price point.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think we'll see where it comes in. Obviously, ownership is all different on Showdown. Like everyone is very popular, but you're certainly paying a premium. I guess I want to refine what I just said because I agree with that. But I'll say this, and I'll be interested to see if you differ. Total salary allocation. I don't really look at that too much. Normally, I talk about 4-2s or 5-1s, but percentage allocation per team, I'd say the least likely build will be, take your, what is it? It's 50K, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 40,000 to the Patriots, 10,000 to the Seahawks.
Yeah,
those type of builds.
Yeah, that's not going to be popular. No.
You know what I mean? Like you can go 4-2, but you actually are balancing it like 60-40 salary wise because Kenneth Walker and JSN are so expensive. If you go 40,000 or more on the Patriots side and less than 10,000 on the Seahawks side, you're not going to be a popular build at all.
I mean, what are the highest owned players going to be? It's going to be, forget about the order, but it's going to be JSN, Walker, Darnold, and May.
Yeah, definitely. And Stevenson.
And then Stevenson. But I think he's going to be 5th.
I would agree.
Yeah. So if that's the case, exactly. If you're allocating only 10K to Seattle in these lineups and 40K to New England, that means you're either not playing any of those guys and you're playing a 4-2 with 2 cheap Seattle Seahawks, or you're only playing one of the expensive Seahawks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not no one, but very few people will build like that. So 4-2s are not all 4-2s. If you have a 4-2 non-JSN Walker, that's going to be really unique.
Do you like George Holani?
No, but he's definitely playable because he might touch the ball like 5-6 times.
Last week, I was really surprised last game to see 4 targets, played 20 plus snaps. That was really surprising to me. Like they were using him in 3rd and long situations. They were using him on 3rd downs. That genuinely surprised me. I thought he would get a little bit of work on the ground. Didn't expect to see a ton of work through the air. And then you go back and you look at this and you're like, wow, George Holani ran 17 routes to Walker's 16. They both were targeted 4 times, but they essentially had the exact same role in the passing game.
Yeah, and that's going to be something when we talk about Kenneth Walker's ownership. Kenneth Walker plus Holani is obviously not going to be, take 100% of Kenneth Walker lineups and then what percentage have Holani? I don't know, sub 10% of those. Like, that could be a way to do it. Double Seattle. Like, you're going to see those type of builds in this type of situation.
For sure. All right, let's talk about wide receivers here as well. And then, like you said a minute ago, we'll start building some lineups out. Because that's what it all comes down to, right? Like we're gonna have to build some lineups out. Also, cards ain't my what. I love the new props tool, by the way.
Ooh,
hell yeah, dude! The new props tool is sick. If you're already a Stokastic sub, check it out. There's gonna be like an add-on. I don't know exactly what the add-on is, but it's very cool. You can customize the blend using market-based projections. Everything we have with the OddsShopper Portfolio EV tool. As well as Stokastic projections. So if you wanted to move this to like 75 Stokastic, 25 market-based, you could run it at 50-50, however you want to do it. And then grab your bets. All of these NBA bets, right? You're getting the EV, how often the model's winning in this spot, what the true odds are, what the projection is, where the best odds are. You can bet them, and everything's deep linked, so it'll bring it straight into your bet slip with one tap or one click. Or you can add it to your bet slip here. And let's say you just wanted to add a bunch of these onto DraftKings. You could go ahead and do it like that. Boom. They're all right here on DraftKings. Place 3 straight bets, add it straight into your bet slip, and you are in. I bet a bunch of these this morning, already getting significant closing line value here too. And the injury news stuff, which is huge. So with NBA, like there's so much crazy injury reporting. We always have something like this so if there are guys you maybe want to stay away from until we get some better reporting, whether or not we expect these guys to play. Because the worst thing that could happen is you bet an under on a guy, a key teammate gets ruled out, and then the props shift, and you're stuck with the under on a bet that is now significantly higher on that line. But yeah, man, Ben, there's a lot you can do. Come in here and edit rates and all of this stuff. If you're someone who understands how to do all of this, that's a great way to do it. Or you can just trust the projections and the market-based tools themselves. It's pretty sweet what we've got going on.
That's something a lot of people have asked. The market-based approach of Portfolio EV, it works for a lot of people. You can go in there, you can get a lot of volume, but there's a lot of people out there that love the NBA, that know the NBA. And they know that our projections, in terms of origination, are a great guide. And now you're able to really bet on your, people do this, a lot of people, where they say, okay, I know the rotations, I know the patterns, I know this guy's on a back-to-back, I'm going to bet that he's sitting. And these are the type of tools, if you can identify those edges, you can make crazy money being ahead of the books. And these are the type of tools that can help you do that. So it's the best of both worlds. For someone like me that's not immersed in NBA, I get some great information that I can use as baselines. And then for other people, they're probably going to be editing their own minutes projections and uploading their own projections, all this other stuff, because they really know the NBA up and down. And that's what we always wanted. Best of both worlds if you're serious about getting involved in betting.
Yeah, man. Check it out. It's on the Stokastic side, in case you were wondering, in the props tool. You see it with the data hub. Like everything's right here, which is pretty sweet. So, all right. Oh, Einstein. Go ahead.
What do you think about that? That's a real good question.
Vrabel. But I don't really know. I want to say Vrabel. I think Vrabel's a great coach. But then the other thing is you have what is he, a second-year coach in McDonald? Mike McDonald's a second-year coach, right?
He seems like a smart dude, though.
Definitely a smart guy. But not only that, Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak is fantastic too. Some of the plays that they've been drawing up are ridiculous. It's a tough call, man. Like I don't know if
I
I
think
would give a significant edge to coaching.
I don't think there's a significant edge. I think it's the Patriots that have the edge, but just on more experience than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Played in a bunch,
He's just been
coached a
there.
lot, not a Super Bowls, but
There is something to that. I don't think you can quantify it, but like there is something to just having like Vrabel has been to the Super Bowl a bajillion times. He knows kind of the week and what it entails. And just you do learn that's stuff that you can't know until you know, and it
absolutely.
does help.
Absolutely. So JSN, pretty obvious here. Is he just, I don't know yet, but it's hard to think that JSN isn't just, the most exposed player for me. I'd be surprised if he wasn't, honestly. Actually, that's not true. It might be Kenneth Walker at
It'll be
9,800.
Kenneth Walker for me.
It might be Walker, but like Diggs at 8,600, he just feels overpriced, especially in a spot like this. I mean, it is a very, very difficult matchup for Diggs. And you're talking about a guy with a sub 20% target share on a good day. You're going to get to Stephon Diggs, but I don't think Diggs is the type of guy that I take any type of stand on. Preferably, I'd rather just be with the field on Diggs and not take any stand in either direction.
Certainly going to be uncomfortable if you define your slate with him. Just because, I think there's a lot of ways he might not have the volume, he might not have the efficiency. I also think there's a chance he, in the right game script, he could be crazy busy. So it is a wide range. I don't have a strong take on him. Again, that's the beauty of the Patriots. You cannot tell me, to me, anything with certainty on that side. I can tell you, barring injury, Kenneth Walker and JSN are going to be heavily involved. They just are. It's just a fact. Everyone, I think, knows that. I don't see it the same way on the Patriots side.
What do you think the path is for guys like Cooper Kupp and Rashid Shaheed? I know teams have tried to take JSN out of it unsuccessfully, but let's just say they do. Like they sell out somehow to stop JSN, because we have to cover all of the bases here.
Sure.
What is the angle here? Is it Shaheed? Is it Barner? Is it Kupp? Right. And we'll talk about wide receivers and tight ends in the same breath here, because there's no point in separating them. Like, what does it end up being? Because Kupp played last week. They only, Jake Bobo, you mentioned, pretty fluke. He played 13 snaps. Young played 1 snap. That doesn't count. It was primarily JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Rashid Shaheed who played 38 snaps, 57%, the most of the postseason in the 2 games that they played. What is the angle here? Or is it Barner, who, outside of 1 game earlier this year where he had like 10 receptions for that huge game, he's been very quiet as well?
I think it's more Kupp and Barner, to be honest. But with Seattle, it doesn't seem like it's next man up or anything like that. It feels like Walker, Holani, Barner, Kupp, Shaheed on a couple gadgets combined for, I don't know, 15 to 18 targets. Like that's 4-ish a piece, give or take. That sounds about right to me. I don't think one guy gets 12 targets. Like say they bracket JSN. I don't think that means anything, honestly, for these other guys.
No, it doesn't. That's not like them taking Puka out and then Devontae Adams gets 15 targets.
Yeah, or Chase and Higgins.
Exactly. Yeah, Higgins, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, any of those combos. So then the question is, if you're not getting to JSN in these lineups, is there something specific you're looking to do?
Yeah, I mean, so if you're not getting to JSN, I think you always have to look 2 different directions. What's the obvious thing, and then what's the kind of bizarre thing? The obvious thing would be you think that the game is more controlled with Kenneth Walker, Seattle's defense, and maybe Shaheed, who's an absolute home run threat. I think the sneakier play would be play Darnold without JSN and go Darnold, Kupp, Barner, Walker, and just say JSN has a fine game, but he doesn't catch a touchdown, and Darnold throws 3 dispersed to those 3.
What if the other scenario is just Seattle's offense is really bad in this game?
Then I still think you're probably going to get Kenneth Walker. I think, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you're not going 0, obviously, but like Kenneth Walker Seahawks or something like that. Kenneth Walker
yeah, or
Seahawks.
Cup, because Cup's still when I think of Cup, it's still underneath targets with PPR floor more than anything else.
Yeah, I just think there are a lot of ways games like this can play out. And a lot of people are going into these type of spots just assuming that Seattle routes them, or they're going to score. Gonzo versus JSN is going to be tough. I don't know, dude. Christian Gonzalez gotten burned a couple times already this postseason. He's very good, but after what I saw JSN do to Derek Stingley early in the season, and they put anybody on that guy and it just doesn't seem to make a difference. I'll be honest. Christian Gonzalez alone is not going to be enough to stop JSN.
No, I mean JSN he just seemingly always open too. The difference I will say though, yes, you can throw screen passes to JSN, you can do things like that, but it is slightly harder to get him the ball. Kenneth Walker controls his own fate. Like they can give Kenneth Walker the ball at any point instantly. And so that, to me, Kenneth Walker's floor is still this. If I had to bet one guy to be in the optimal, it would be Kenneth Walker. No questions asked for me.
Yeah, me too.
I have a feeling I might just say, you know what? I'm just going to play 100% Kenneth Walker and I will build 5-man lineups.
Wait, hold on. 100% Kenneth Walker and then build what?
Just 5, meaning instead of having to build 6-man lineups, you have I only have to worry about 5
got
spots.
You. Yeah.
Because
like you're only playing
Kenneth
with
Walker's
5
in every
roster
lineup.
spots. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I
look.
I think I'm probably going to do that, to be honest.
I don't hate it. He's going to play a ton, and the passing game involvement should be enough, even though Helani was involved last time out. Kenneth Walker's great after contact, like very good after contact, sheds a ton of tackles. He's probably going to get his in one way or another. Now, by getting his, if this ends up being a 17-14 game, Walker doesn't need to be spectacular. You just need him to grind out some production, right? And I think that's very possible here. I'm not as convinced you get that with Stevenson, but in the passing game for the Patriots, I would go back to Hunter Henry here for sure. I think Hunter Henry at 7K, coming off two games where he was completely unused in these 2 games. I would absolutely go back to Hunter Henry. I feel like he's probably a little overpriced. I wouldn't be surprised if this impacts his ownership.
I think the recency bias is going to be a factor with all these guys. So I'm fine with that. Hunter, yeah, I mean, again, I think with Hunter Henry, you're going to have obviously Drake May in the majority of those lineups. I don't know how many people will look to again, I'm thinking of the largest field tournaments, maybe like a triple tight end build. I mean, who's going to do that?
Who would it be? Henry, Barner, Hooper?
Yeah.
Henry, Barner,
Hooper, May, Darnold, and Walker.
Yeah. I mean, Elijah Arroyo was healthy, but wasn't even active last week.
No, it has to be Hooper for sure.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. I mean, that's pretty gross too. I keep coming back to it though, that I keep coming back to the idea that I want less pass catchers than I want more. I do think I'm going to be building a lot of lineups with kickers, a lot of lineups with defenses. When you think about this too, the defenses, and I don't think this is really like a stand, but it's not actually that low of a total. Like the total is higher than I initially would have suspected, right? Like if I asked you what the total was in this game, what you thought it was going to be, what would you have said?
Like 41.
That's what I was just say 41. And but that clearly means, I mean, we know how efficiently priced NFL is in general, but particularly the Super Bowl. That means that you and I are missing something because this game has a 45.5 point total.
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways what we're missing, and again, I think Seattle's defense is not that type of both these defenses are a little more, in my opinion, opportunistic than blanket destruction. Like, look at the Rams. The Rams are moving the ball. Like, Seattle's defense is amazing. The Rams are moving the ball up and down the field, no problem.
Yeah, I was not surprised by that.
Neither was I.
That's a unique offense, though. Very unique offense.
But yeah, I still think if you look at these defenses, I think still give up production. I don't see it being like that type of certain defenses you just like cannot score. Seattle's defense to me is more, it's an all around very difficult test, but there are shots over the top to take. And I do think there's chunk plays. I don't have this in front of me, but I'm probably going to bet there's always a longest touchdown prop. I will definitely be taking the over on that this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both teams have opportunities to have a 60-yard touchdown in this game, even if both defenses play well.
I wonder what it is. I wonder what I saw it. I saw it.
It's somewhere in the world.
What's that?
Yeah, it's obviously out there. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, it's hard to find it on the go, but let's see. Is there longest? I found it. Yeah, here you go. What do you think it is? Longest touchdown yards. Take a guess.
Longest touchdown yards, 36.5.
Close, man. 35.5.
Okay.
Nice guess.
Yeah, I like the over for that.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of opportunities from Shaheed on these, returns. Also, there's some home run hitters on these teams.
Total number of different players to score, 4.5.
I would take the under personally.
The reason I do like the defenses a lot, though, it's not that the total's high or low. It's that both of these quarterbacks are very susceptible to making mistakes, right? Like Drake May holds on to the ball too long, takes a bunch of fumbles the ball a bunch. I know he didn't against Denver, but that's because Ramondre, they ran the ball, like including Drake May, they ran the ball almost 40 times in that game. He is susceptible to making mistakes. And you know what? Darnold's coming off a spectacular game against the Rams, but he can also make some mistakes. Like we have seen Darnold implode. Now, he doesn't even need to implode to throw a pick six or a scoop and score, on a fumble, on a strip sack. Those things can very much happen, and this game could still go over the total, and one of the defenses or both could still be optimal. So to me, that is another spot where you look at both of these kickers, both of the defenses. I don't see how you want to get away from any of that. I know it's not the sexy play. It's not exciting to load up on defenses or kickers, but if this just ends up being one of these ugly games where both defenses lock down, I don't know if it was Connor Allen's article that I mentioned earlier or somewhere else in another article that I read this, but Josh Allen, the offensive line, the Chargers offensive line had said that like the Patriots were bringing defensive looks that they actually didn't know what they were doing. And they just annihilated the line and Justin Herbert. So that's still a really talented defensive line that can get a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold. In my opinion, you could absolutely see defensive touchdowns in this game. I would not be shocked if there was more than one.
I mean, again, that is the great equalizer with this type of stuff. You should also, I'm sure there's a prop for that. I thought it would be way higher. See, so did I, honestly, even though I'm not surprised. Like,
you thought what?
Chad is saying they thought that longest touchdown would be way higher, and it's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where I thought it would be, to be honest. But number of players throw past 2.5. I never get that right.
That's a fun one to bet the over on, though. Like, that's a very fun sweat.
Yeah. Yeah, you just need, obviously, an injury would help. No, sorry to say, but that's true. Or obviously just a little razzle dazzle.
Yeah, because last year they got there when the Eagles brought the backup in.
That's I mean, you can get it that way. Is May's shoulder legit injured? I have no idea, but I don't think so.
I think he's probably okay, especially 2 weeks removed. He'll be from his last game. I would assume he's all right. build out a couple of lineups here before we go. And for whoever asked the question, let me see if I can find it. Any Super Bowl deals this week on the Sims? No, but you can always just go in to the link in the description and get the Sims for free by signing up with any of our sportsbook partners. Like I would pretty much guarantee it that there's at least one of those books or DFS pick'em sites or sweepstakes books that you haven't signed up on yet. I would assume there's at least one, right? And it depends on your state, but like Onyx, you spend 10, you get 100 in Onyx cash. Sleeper's great. Play 5, get 55. Underdog, Fanatics, BetMGM, Caesars. There's a couple others as well. Just choose them, follow the steps. You got to click this, it'll take you there. Sign up, deposit your $5 or $10 minimum. Place a bet or a pick 'em lineup. When that settles, just send your screenshots to us. Support at Stokastic.com. People ask about deals all the time, and we run a lot of great deals. But in this instance, this is the best deal you're going to get. You're getting a month of core Sims for whatever sport you want. It's not just football. Like if you wanted basketball, when baseball comes up, you want PGA, MMA, whatever that may be, you're getting it for $5 or $10. That's it. Plus, you're actually getting paid to do it because the sports books are offering you very, very, very generous welcome bonuses. So there is simply no better way to go about it.
It's true. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's true.
No, I say that's all I'm going to say, and then I say more. If we didn't offer the link join, you should still do all those. If you didn't get the Sims for free for a month, you would still be missing out on great value just by the sports books alone. Now you add in a full month of our Sims, and it's a no-brainer, honestly.
Yep. So that's how you do it, man. Even if you just wanted to do it for the Super Bowl, it's still like you're getting the tools for the Super Bowl for $5 or whatever. Plus, yeah.
I get it. I totally. But let's build a couple.
Let's do it. So we'll pull this up. And I want to ask,
pulling up my lineups.
When you say that you might go 5 lineups that all have Kenneth Walker, you didn't specify what you meant with Kenneth Walker. All Kenneth flex, some captains, some flex.
That's going to be the mix. So if I play 100% Kenneth Walker, even within those lineups, I do have a decision point because you have Kenneth Walker captain and Kenneth Walker flex. Both, I will 100% have both. I'll say this. I think it's much more aggressive to make a stand within Kenneth Walker than make a stand on Kenneth Walker this week. Like, to me, playing Kenneth Walker is very obvious. Making a stand on captain versus flex is highly aggressive, in my opinion.
So who do you think the best captain is on this slate?
For tournaments?
Yeah.
A Patriot. Just any Patriot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just by way of getting different.
Just by way of getting different.
Tayshaun Boutte, Mac Hollins.
Any Patriot, again, I'd say the best ones would be Diggs, Boutte, or Henry for me.
Yeah. And then Henderson, if you're getting crazy. He's going to be like 1% owned at captain.
Yeah, I mean, that's dangerously insane. Honestly, Patriots defense.
I could see that.
There's definitely a chance.
I could see Seattle defense too, for sure.
The difference is I think Seattle's defense will be moderately popular even at captain.
You think so?
Yeah. But it'll be, I don't know, I'd say 3 to 5 times the amount of Patriots captain.
Yeah. It might be, especially given the spread and all of that. So then plug one in. Who do you want?
All right. Well, let's start with a weird lineup. I'm going to go Hunter Henry. Let's build something up.
And Obi asked if we can build it in the single lineup Sims. That's tomorrow's show. Data will update tomorrow morning.
I'm out cutting down honeysuckle in the snow for work. You guys are making it a lot more enjoyable. That's what we're here for, my friend. I don't know what that even means. But I'm not up on my Fuck, what is that? It's a plant.
Honeysuckle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect it. Doing that work. My man.
Do you
Yeah,
want
I'm not
May in
up
this
to date.
lineup too then?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So we have Hunter Henry and Drake May. And then realistically, if you're going Hunter Henry, he's not going to be that popular captain, but he'll have some ownership. You've got to load in some of these big three for Seattle. You're not fading these guys. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
I assume you want Kenneth Walker here.
That's certainly obvious for me.
Do you double stack May?
I mean, I'm just shooting from the hip here. Just first thoughts. Mine would probably be non-JSN Seahawk, so Barner or Cup. All right, 13-5.
If you put Jason
go-
Myers in, then you're
Yeah,
in
that
no
makes-
man's land. So you're going to be leaving, if you go Kayshon Boutte here, you're leaving 2,500 on the table. That's no JSN, no Darnold, no Ramondre, no Diggs.
I don't mind that. Could go Henderson.
You could.
I don't know.
You could go Trevion Henderson and then get up to Ramondre, or you could go kicker. Like if you don't go Cup and you go down 1,000 to Rashid Shaheed, and then you were to go to Ramondre Stevenson, then you can get to Kayshon Boutte, you can get to Jason Myers, Borregales, any of these guys down here. You would not have JSN, you would not have Sam Darnold, but you would have Henry with, we would have May with Henry and Stevenson, who has been a pretty competent pass catcher, and they do try and target him downfield at times. I don't hate that build at all, actually, with Kenneth Walker and Shaheed, and then it gives you Kayshon Boutte if you want the triple stack, or it gives you a kicker, or someone even cheaper if you want it.
Yeah, these are, when I build for showdowns like this, I kind of build in, and obviously with tools even, I build in like pods, because it's like, okay, this is my like Henry pod. It's going to have the top three for sure. Henry, May, and Walker. And then I'll build 2 to 3 or 4 3v3s in that pod. And then I'll move to my next one, which is like, okay, Kenneth Walker, captain. Totally different build, more traditional. Kenneth Walker, Seattle's defense. Maybe May with one of his pass catchers. Something like that. Just a different pod. And then I'll 2v2 those.
Yeah, I can see that being the case for sure. To just mix and match, have those three. The only question for me though is like, are you going with that 3-man core with all of them with Hunter Henry a captain, or are you going with that core and mixing in the captain as well?
So I think you can do both depending on how many lineups. I don't think you want to overemphasize like a ridiculously aggressive captain. But if you're building like say 50 lineups, I don't mind having like 2 to 4 of the same captain like that in pods, just because there's so many combinations. You want more. If you get something right like that, it really, in my experience, sucks to have one out. Like having 2 to 4 outs with that type of build is so much more valuable.
Yeah, no question. You could even honestly go Seahawks defense here. People wouldn't want to do that with Hunter Henry a captain with May and Stevenson, but you already have Rashid Shaheed, so there's the correlation there. If Shaheed scores a touchdown, that also takes away from guys like JSN and Sam Darnold in the event that he does. And Drake May is always live for some turnovers.
Definitely.
I don't think that's a crazy build. People hate doing that too. They hate plugging in the opposing defense in showdown when you've got like 3 men or 3 players. And if you look at our sims, if you run the sims, if you're a subscriber, you'll see plenty of times where we'll have 4 2s where it's four of the opposing team, and then the opposing defense is one of the twos on the other side.
It's not scientific, but truly, if you don't play a lot of showdown and whatnot, a decent check is ask yourself, like, do you want to do this? Does it feel comfortable? If the answer is no, it's probably a pretty good lineup.
Yep.
Like if you're like, this is great, this works out perfectly, I would strongly suggest moving something around.
Yeah, get rid of it. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So JSN at captain. We'll build this one out too. And we'll have the single lineup sim show tomorrow. We'll have the actual pre-contest sim tournament strategy show on Friday, and then everything else on Sunday. Ben and I will be back with you for the final time this season.
Of course.
JSN at captain. And the question now becomes, if you're captaining JSN, do you want Sam Darnold at flex? I think you probably do here.
It's not a mandatory situation, but 9 out of 10, yes, I would say yes.
I'm throwing Trevion Henderson in here to see what this does for us, okay? What do you, if you had to predict his ownership, what do you think Trevion Henderson's flex ownership is? I think it'll be higher than we think. Not high to the point where you don't play him, but a little higher than we think.
12%.
Yeah, I was going to say 15. Yeah. So not nothing.
No. This
but also not representative of someone who only a couple weeks ago touched the ball double digits in back-to-back games, right?
Well, that's why I think he's got a wide range of outcomes. This lineup gets tricky because if you play Kenneth Walker, there's not that much you can do. Like you can easily do this, but there's not that many 2v2s. And there's certainly, I will say this, I don't think there's a unique combination off of this that's realistic.
Yeah, right. Because if you're going to an Austin Hooper, let's just say, that's going to put you under the dead zone, which is all the backup quarterbacks, into this range.
Yeah, it would probably be Kupp or Barner, but that'll...
You know what I think it would be? Pairing George Holani with Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, that's... With the Patriots
I'm not saying
defense.
I love it. I'm not saying I love it, but to your point, maybe that's a good thing.
Patriots defense is what I would close this with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that again, very different.
Oh, I'm trying to be as different as possible here. I think people do you a disservice, not us, but if we build you a lineup and it zeroes out, it's going to look awesome and you have no chance.
Yep. Like zeroing it out with Shaheed instead of Holani. You zero. I will say the only advantage there is that it's a 4-2 Seattle with Patriots defense. So I don't think that'll be as duped as a lot of the zeroed out lineups, but it will still be duped.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, listen, you can do whatever you want. I'm sure I'm going to have plenty of lineups that leave like 100 or 200 on the table and they're going to be duped. It's just the nature of it, but I'm going to at least try to keep it reasonable.
Before we go, let's build one more. Give me a captain that we haven't done yet.
I'll give you Barner.
A captain?
Yeah. I think not no one, but he is going to be really low owned at captain.
Oh, yeah.
And the one thing he does, he could have 3 catches and still be optimal captain. Like he could just have 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just been odd for him. You look at his performance outside of that game against the Rams. I think we look at that and go, man, Barner has been great. It's like, not really, but also he's going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah, and he scores 7 touchdowns.
Right. So realistically, that's all that matters. He played 96% of snaps against the Rams. Barner's going to be out there. Let's do it. Now, in this type of spot, do you want Sam Darnold as well?
Yes.
I think you have to, because Barner's probably not getting there as your optimal captain with at the very least 1 touchdown.
This to me is you have to play Sam Darnold.
Agreed.
Unless there's a small 1% chance that Barner could score on the ground. He is their tush push. Keep that in mind.
He does have a rushing yards prop of 1.5.
He scored. So like, it's not impossible that there's double pass interference in the end zone and Barner scores twice on the ground. You know, is it likely? No. Is it unlikely? It's so beyond unlikely. It's in the stratosphere, but it's not. He would be the guy to do the tush push for sure.
Yeah. That's who they would use. His rushing prop, as I mentioned, is, let me see if it's still up.
Yeah.
Yeah, half a yard.
Yep.
Yep.
These little edges matter when you're trying to beat 200,000 people.
I wonder if you can parlay his rushing prop
and anytime touchdown.
And shortest touchdown under 1.5 yards. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, if they have, well, I'll tell you this much. If they have somehow, if it gets granular player to score a rushing touchdown and under 1.5 yards, to me, those are like literally almost overlapped. Like Barner's only scoring a 1 yard touchdown.
That's what I mean.
On the ground. Yeah.
But you're right. You'd have to find, but I don't know. I'm real curious to know what the odds are on this.
These are those. Again, I know we talk about tails, but that's why you want to be over there. That's the type of stuff that is absolutely getting correlation that the books don't understand is maybe the biggest edge you can have in betting.
They won't let you parlay it, by the way.
But yeah,
I figured they wouldn't. Worth a shot. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you'd be surprised, You
get nothing. There's no downside to test. Sometimes I log on to the sports books, no joke, and I just take an hour and I just click. No, I don't bet anything. I just test of like, can I find something weird? And then once in a blue moon, I find something.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you do, it's just phenomenal value. They're not accounting for correlation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you bet it. Barner, and you can, by the way, follow Ben over on Tails if you're not, because when he does find that stuff, he's posting it on Tails.
There's no doubt about it.
Same with me. Barner and Darnold. You want Walker here, or do you want JSN, or do we want someone from the Patriots?
I want Walker for sure. So, okay, Darnold throws a couple. Kenneth Walker does enough. Honestly, this is where I probably would go to Drake May. We haven't put him in many lineups. Maybe he gets moving with the feet. It could be a 4-2 skinny. It could be a May +2. It could be an isolated, like. You could go Seattle.
Do you go Drake May skinny here with Seattle defense?
That's what I was just about to say. You could go Drake May skinny, or you could put Shaheed in there, I think.
That would still be a Drake May skinny.
No one.
What do you mean?
I'm saying it would be Drake May solo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my fault. I was talking Drake May naked. Yep, that's my fault.
I mean, yeah. I think that's definitely viable. Yeah, Drake May naked. You hope that he runs. Shaheed correlates with Seattle's defense. Darnold pairs him up on a home run play. Barner catches the touchdowns. Kenneth Walker does it on the ground, and May is forced to run and throw, but he doesn't convert any of the throws into touchdowns. His target tree is dispersed, where Hooper and Diggs and Stevenson and Henry all have 3 to 4 targets, and they can't eclipse Shaheed or Walker. To me, that's an out for sure.
This is a unique looking build.
Yeah, that's a good team.
That's pretty cool. And if you didn't want Shaheed, you could still go Cooper Kupp here. You could go like May and Borregales, but I don't know if I love that. You could go Myers. I think I'll be honest with you, once you get to this type of build with Barner, Darnold, Walker, May, Seahawks, you could probably do anything down here and be all right. Like even if you put just Henderson in here as a skinny, I don't think that's going to be all that popular, right? I think there's a lot of combos that make something like this look good because Barner's already opening it up and you're not jamming JSN in there.
Yep. Once you leverage a little bit, you're free to do a little more dealer's choice.
Yep. Yep. So that's it. The final one, man. You and I will be back on Sunday for sure. So this is the final First Look show. I always hate this because I love doing the First Look show with you every single year.
It's the best. It's been a blast, but again, we're not going anywhere. Every single day, we're posting bets to tails. Every single day, we got content out there. You know where to find us. March Madness, hoops, baseball will be here. PGA is heating up big time. It's just nonstop action. So do yourself a favor. Again, go over to Tails. Tails is free. Sure, there's premium packages for people. Everything you're seeing on the screen is free. So I don't know. The leaderboards, the amount of content is so immense, and it's blocking out all the noise. We'll see you over there. I have no doubt. But yeah, I hope I win the Millie. If I win the Millie, I'll do a First Look show next week. No problem.
Good luck to you guys. Appreciate it, man. We'll see you back here Sunday. Greg and I will be back here tomorrow and Friday. And of course, everything you need in the basketball streets. Josh's strategy show, live before lock, every single night, right here on the YouTube Stokastic channel. Follow me at Lafayette on Twitter, Ben at JazzRazBets. And we'll see you back here for the next year, I guess, man. See you back here next year. Bye-bye.